Hey everybody, I absolutely love this tool, Canva.com. This tool is going to help you design professional and fun and engaging graphics to use when you present or teach, or if you're branding yourself, logos, headers, anywhere you would want a custom design. And why do we want custom design, right? Well, one, it's more engaging and more fun, right? And two, it makes you appear more uniform and professional. And three, if you kind of brand your stuff, either your individual classes or your teaching materials. If you keep them kind of similar colors and similar styles, then it's way easier for students to recognize it as something that comes from you over time, right? So you kind of establish a sort of space in their mind with, and that's the way anyone would brand themselves, a company or anything like that, right? But there are benefits to creating graphics that look more professional for your classroom. You'll get taken, more seriously and things like that, right? And look at this stuff. It's way more fun. So you can have a lot of fun with this, especially if you're teaching younger ages. But regardless, being able to do your own graphic design and professional graphic design is just a huge way to free up possibilities to just do more creative stuff without one having to hire someone and pay them, and two, without having to get really good at like these complicated graphic design programs like Photoshop and stuff, which, to be honest, I'm a great designer, but I only ever use Canva, and nobody would ever know it. They would think that I was either hiring someone or using a complicated program like Photoshop. I do everything. All of my downloadables for everything that I teach, all of my, when I want to make an announcement, I do all of it here in Canva. So here's the possibilities. Presentations. When you're teaching, you can create awesome, fun, and engaging presentations. Also, I've shared this before, but you can do the custom Zoom backgrounds, the virtual backgrounds. You can create these here in Canva, either video or image. Infographics. If you're trying to teach something and you want to get a point across, you could do great infographics. Posters. Let's say you're doing a special sort of charity drive or something, or a special week in your class. Maybe this looks like it was kind of like a planet week, right? You could do a little poster to promote that. Here's a class schedule that's really nice. A lesson plan that's very cool. Newsletters, if you want to keep everybody updated, like some quick newsletters to keep out, to send out to parents, etc. So I've also seen Google Classroom headers. So when you're in Google Classroom, you can actually put little headers up that say your class name and stuff like that. So let's get started with some of these templates, and I just want to dive in and show you what's possible. So for all of these templates, these are some great ones, but there's actually more. So if you're doing any kind of social media, of course, you have all of these templates that you can use. But if you're looking for something, just simply search for it. So up here, if you wanted to do, let's say, a Google Classroom header. Look, we can do a Google Classroom header that goes right above our in our Google Classroom program, right? So you can see the possibilities here of just making what you do online more fun, more engaging, more professional, and more unique to you. And so kids have a stronger, or whoever you're teaching has a stronger memory of kind of what you're doing with them, right? So this is where the Google heading goes, the Google Classroom header. So let's work on one together. Let's do a presentation, and I pulled one up already. Okay, so I have opened a presentation template in here for you, and I want you to see what this looks like because it's very, very easy to do, right? So they've given us all of these slide options. They're all pre-made. All we have to do is edit the info and the colors and anything else, and we can choose any of these slides to go next, right? So when I've loaded this, I've actually just I've clicked here and I've loaded the cover image here that they've provided, and that's great for me, right? So I'm going to put in my school name. Or if you weren't necessarily teaching for a school per se, you were doing private teaching or tutoring or something, that's fine. You don't have to put a name in here. So anything that you want to put on this cover page, you can put on. So basically, you could even take this out if you wanted to. And you can change anything about this. You can change the font size here. You can change the font type here. And you can delete or edit any of these boxes, right? So they put this together for you, but you don't necessarily have to take all of their suggestions. So let's say that our school colors are actually red, right? Our school color is red, and so I don't want to do a green. I want to make it look more like my school. I can change those school colors, right? Or I can, pick my own colors that I'm going to use each time. And so any of this stuff on these templates can actually be changed and edited. I usually pick a template that I like already so that it's really easy for me to just kind of pop this stuff in. So let's say I've got my cover image ready. Now I want to, so they're saying here that you can use any of these slides. They've already made them for you. Let's say I want to use what they suggested as the second slide here. This would be what we're going to talk about today, right? I can go in and change the color. Let's say I want to change this to red to match my thing. I would just click on the element, click on the color up here, this box up here, and I would just pick the color. And it's going to start to save the commonly used document colors here, so you don't have to go find it again, right? So maybe I want to change the color of that. Okay, so I can change anything here. I just double click and change the text. If I want, see, this is all set to group together because they put it in like this for us. But if you wanted to change this, you just can go ungroup and you can move a certain element around, right? Maybe you wanted main topics to go here or here. In general, they have great graphic designers make these templates so that you don't have to make a lot of these decisions. If you're not maybe a designer already, you don't have to make a lot of these decisions, but you can always move this stuff around, right? And you can, maybe you had more topics, so you wanted to disconnect that and just bring that a little bit higher so you can add more topics here. If I wanted to add something, I could simply just double click inside this box and new topic. And I can do anything you would normally do, move this box around. I can make it into bullet points. I can change the side or direction. I can center it. Anything that you would normally do in a typical text editor, right? That stuff is going to be available to you up here. Centering, adding bullet points, bolding, italicizing. If I didn't like the font they chose or the size, I can change that here. Size and type of font, right? Cool. So let's say that we want to go with, we want to introduce ourselves. Not a problem, right? We can pick their introductory slide, change that info here, but how do I get my picture in there, right? So what you would do is take your picture from your desktop. Let's see if I can find a picture of myself. So I'll take my headshot here from my computer. I'll just drag it and drop it. Or you can just upload an image by clicking this button. So the great thing about Canva is they have these little, if you look here, this image is here. You can just delete it and I can just add my own photo. Maybe I want it to be a little bit smaller, a little bit trimmed. I'm going to double click on the photo. You see these little lines? I'm just going to bring that in, and I'm going to click done. So all I did was double click on the photo and trim it a little bit so it fits a little bit better. But look, I want these circles and stuff to be in front of the photo. That's how the design is supposed to be. So all I have to do now is position my image backward. Position, I've clicked on it. I'm going to position backward. I'm going to go backward until I'm all the way to the back there, behind what I want to be behind. And I want these to look a little bit better, right? They should be red because I can't see them. My photo's dark. Let's make these look a little bit better. So I'm just going to click on these and change the color. Why not, right? Maybe this one should be white so it pops. Why not, right? So I just replaced my image with her image. Canva will sometimes have these little things that are called frames. Grids, actually, they're called grids. So what these grids are, sometimes you'll see this grid, something like this, right? And it always, you know it's a grid because it has the cloud. So what this is going to help you do is frame photos. It's going to fit photos for you. So maybe you wanted two images, right? Two different people. What you could do is do this grid, and it's going to snap it in there for you, right? So it snapped it in the grid. I just have to double click it and center it, and then it will snap it inside this grid for me. Double click it, center it, right? So it's an easier way than just trying to drop two photos on there and make them exactly the same size square. It's easier to do it using these grids that they've set up for you. So hopefully you guys saw how that worked. It was just essentially an element. I just took one of these. You go to elements, you take one of these grids. There's 3 in a row here. They've got 2 and then 1 on the bottom. It's just a really easy way to just put photos in and have them line up uniformly. But you could always just copy and paste the photo like I did before. Just put it in. You see, it was just here. I just put the photo in. It wasn't on a grid. You can always just do that. So this is how you edit a basic presentation, a little more detail about some of the photos and the grids. But we're going to keep going here in this mini series, and I'm going to show you different things that you can do. You can use video and GIFs and different things. So this was just an introductory what templates you can use and how to use this for presentation. And I will see you guys on the next part of the training.